Among the hills, when you sit in the cool shade of the white poplars, sharing the peace and serenity of distant fields and meadows, then let your heart say in silence, God rests in reason. And when the storm comes and the mighty wind shakes the forest, and thunder and lightning proclaim the majesty of the sky, then let your heart say in awe, God moves in passion. And since you are a breath in God's sphere and a leaf in God's forest, you too should rest in reason and move in passion. Rest in reason and move in passion. This is a card from the Prophet, Khalil Gibran's Prophet Oracle. And that's the start of our reading. So our reading today has a lot to do with this balance between rest and reason, like we heard in the opening poem, basically. We have a Queen of Swords and a Knight of Wands. If you can't get more reason and passion. You really can't. So whoever's tuning into this reading today, you are in a process of balancing these elements in something that you're doing right now. There is also a theme of stepping away from a lack of authenticity, or stepping away from almost like hiding yourself or hiding what you're doing or why you're doing it. So I'm getting like a lot of messages all at once. So we're going to just see how this message unfolds. But the vibe that I'm getting is you have created a project, or you're bringing something into being right now. This could be something personal. This could be a work project. I'm not really seeing relationship, but we'll see. But basically you're like birthing something, or you finished a project, or you're like, it's happening, it's coming into being. And there is like this, it's almost like you're up against something that is making you feel like you might have to be sly about describing what you're doing. Hopefully this is making sense to someone. You know what you want to do. You have clarity on the vision. You have the motivation to move this forward. And it's almost like you are, okay, this has got to be for someone. Okay. It's like you're up against a license, like an authority, a force of authority. So this could be like a licensing body. This could be a university. This could be like an institution of some kind. It could be a boss. It could be someone who is in authority in some way, where you are, it's like, this is so specific. Oh my God, I honestly rarely get specific messages like this. So I guess whoever this is for, like, this doesn't feel like mine reading, at least not right now. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes as readers, we can like really resonate with what we're saying, but like this one is like curious. So sorry, it's amazing. But yeah, it feels like basically you are clarifying a vision, or a way of expressing yourself, a way of creating or bringing what you're doing to the world, or just expressing yourself. I'm just going to say that because I think that can relate to like a lot of different scenarios. And it's like you have decided, there's something very decisive about where you've gotten to, or like how you're being right now in terms of what it is that you've created and how you're doing things. And there's like this presence of the Hierophant here, which is giving this presence to me of like some kind of an authoritative body that you are, I think you're veering away from it to some degree, or you're doing your own thing. You have an independence that's separate from this like body of authority. And you are considering with the Seven of Swords here, how to maneuver yourself through this institution of some kind, or through this like force that's greater than you that seems to have control over things. And what you're being actually encouraged to do is to like to charge forward with your own clarity, with your specific clarity. And this whole thing about reason and passion, at least for this part of the reading, I'm getting it like it's actually very specific. It's not so much like I'm not being called to explain this in like a very highfalutin spiritual way. I'm being called to present this in like practical terms. So basically you have reason. So you're meant to use your reason in order to maneuver your way through this kind of like this institution of some kind, or this like greater thing. This could be like a publishing house, let's say, or like you're applying for a job in a museum, or you're like, I don't know what it is, right? But there's something like institutional that you are cutting through with this sword, the Queen of Swords. And you're being encouraged to use your sense of reason and your rational mind and your clear communication skills, backed up by this genuine passion that you have in what you're doing. Okay, so instead of like communicating emotionally about this thing or spiritually about this thing, even, you're meant to be explaining it with this, like appealing to their sense of reason, appealing to like their ability to, or appealing to like what is most rational, I guess. I think that's going to land for someone. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. So I'm also getting messages around community, support, unseen help, and the sureness of the soil here in this card, held. So it seems that you're very supported in this process, whether that is through, like you have your spirit guides and things like that, really like, and your ancestors really bolstering you up. But I think this is also, again, quite a practical reading. And this is about like, you have the support of your community to do what you're doing. You're physically grounded in reality. You're physically grounded in this world. And what you're doing is going to make actual impact there, right? Practical impact on the people around you, the communities around you. And you need support in this. And it's going to be given to you. And I think that's what this message is that it is unseen help. This may be actually the answer to what this reading is going, like maybe you're up against an unknown right now and you don't know whether your application is going to make it through. So, or something like that. So this unseen help, this support, is here as a message to tell you that you are, in fact, going to be supported in this process through either having backers, through having people who are going to help you or going to advocate for you, or emotional support through community, like having the right people around you that believe in your vision. And also, there will be people who are in this institution, or at least some form of the institution around you, the greater established body that will support your vision as well, and that will fund whatever you're doing, whether that's literal or metaphorical. Okay? Wow. Cool. Super cool. We have the bloom underlying this as well, which is really talking about this time of harvest, this time of creative harvest of your whatever you're creating. It's realized into reality. It's come into fruition. It's here. It's now. So it says right time. This is the right time to be doing this. And I think you already know that this Queen of Swords has such clarity over what she's doing. And there's this Four of Swords in front of her as well. So like where you're headed right now is this sense of like, I'm getting really solid peace. Okay. It's like when someone finishes writing a book and then they get it published, and then they can just like fucking relax, and relax in so many different ways. You can relax professionally for a minute. This is like taking a real beat to properly rest, to properly acknowledge the end of a project, the end of a creation of some kind, creative pursuit that you've been doing. And to allow it to like, allow your body to like reconstitute itself, your nervous system to reconstitute, to get re-regulated after that process of trying to get something to the finish line. And the piece that I'm getting from this is like, it's like utter silence after a period of like getting really fucking clear, using your internal strength and your power to communicate something really clearly, to motivate yourself to refine something and perfect it and present it to the world. And then you get to just like, oh my God, you get to relax, and you did it, right? But I'm really feeling this, that specific feeling of like right after you do something, right after you finish something or you succeed at something, and there's like this silence. And then after the silence is when you get to celebrate. You get to really like make it mean something, you know, like make it, it turns into what happens next in your life. But there's this like moment between the exhale and the inhale, or the inhale and the exhale. Yeah, look, there's this word celebrate here. And that comes after the harvest, literally in this card. Yeah, so this Ace of Wands, I'm just going, we have an Ace of Wands in reverse, and I just want to clarify it real quick here. What is the Ace of Wands here about in this story? Oh my God, the card fell off the table. 1 second, please. Oh, interesting. 5 of Pentacles and Magician have shown up. Give me one more, please, to clarify what this means. Whoa, Emperor. Whoa, whoa, 8 of Wands. Okay. Okay. This thing, this aspect of your life, this aspect of you, this aspect of your work has till now been a source of despair, even like poverty consciousness for you. It could even have been a source of like actual poverty for you. There's been Ace of Wands reversed. There's been like a lack of potency with this thing. It has failed time and again. Something about it has not taken off. It has fallen flat, and it hasn't led to anything. And it's made you literally feel like what you're doing is like not, it's not going to get you where you need to go. It's not going to support you physically, fiscally, whatever. That's what you've been feeling, and you've been wanting to give up. I'm getting a second message with the 4 of Wands now. It's like you've been wanting to give up on this, or you've been thinking that it needs to be given up on. And the Magician and the Emperor are here to like flat out motivate you. I'm just going to say, because look, I'm going to leave this up to interpretation for you. And the reason for that is because it's so dangerous for people who are, all of us who are like watching tarot readings, who are like tuning into these activations, these like messages, and thinking that they are the be all end all of our life's path, that the answers really exist here. I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this reading, the answers do not exist here in this reading with me. I cannot tell you what you need to do with your life, with your trajectory. The messages that you will find here are going to be activations for you to get closer to your own intuition, to your own will. And the Magician and the Emperor together is an incredible confirmation of the power of your will. And I'll just say, like, you know, outside of any kind of philosophical or scientific discussion about whether whether free will even exists, let's put that aside, because we do need to work. We do need to make choices. Even if it's all an illusion, we're still having to make choices. And if you don't make a choice, that's a choice. So we're locked into that paradox. Accept it and own it, and do something powerful with it. Get angry and do shit, right? Like, that's my motto. Like, just do something. And I don't know why that's coming through so strongly right now, but it seems to be something that you need to hear in order to like break through this pattern, this cycle of feeling like you're failing, right? So the Magician and the Emperor are incredibly powerful cards. This is all about willpower. This is a sorcerer and a ruler, right? A magician is an alchemist, and a sorcerer a magician, like someone who's literally working through their body as a channel, the like forces of spirit as well as the forces, and then impacting the earth, like they're channeling the divine into the physical realm to make change happen, right? And the Emperor does this through rulership, does the same thing through ownership, through embodying the divine in his own body. Like, I mean, literally, that's what emperors always have been in human history, is they've been thought of as the embodiment of the divine. So on earth. So you guys are in this period of your story where you're clarifying your vision, not to please something greater than you, but to unlock your own power, right? Or at least that's what's happening through this clarification process, even if you're not meaning to. So this point in your journey is about embodying the power that comes from you yourself, from within you, and then to like move forward with increased passion, with increased fire, like burning underneath, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, and this reason and passion balance, when we come back to that, it has to do with you finding your own reason for things. And I mean that like literally, what is your why? But also, what is your rationality? Like, how do you rationalize your existence? How do you reason with God? Where are your, I guess you're like, I'm seeing like lines, like your lines of thinking, your ways of creating or of comprehending the world in a rational way. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do I describe this? God is reasonable. God is reason. And what I mean by that is like, I think what this is trying to say, let me see if I can try to explain this to you, okay? Just bear with me. Straight lines are just as natural as curved lines. I don't know. I feel called to just leave that there. I don't even know why. Seems to be enough. It seems to be enough. Hilarious. So yeah. Sometimes less is more, am I right? So we have this dichotomy between reason and flame, which is like desire and motivation, let's say. And then reason being the rational mind's ability to, I guess, think its way through. I honestly, look, I think this channel should be for discussion just as much as for like me talking at you. More so, actually. I would love there to be discussion. And if you do come across this video, I would love for you to in the comments tell me what you think we mean by reason versus passion. Like, I would love to hear what you have to say, because I'm still contemplating these things, right? What is the difference between like reason in the sense of God being reason and God being passion? I would love to hear what you have to say. But I feel, I can't even remember what I was saying, I'm sorry. But yeah, I feel that this message today is so clearly for someone who is stepping into their power and who is claiming their own throne, and by throne I mean like this internal seat of power, right? The internal seat of majesty that is your will, that is your desire, your motivation, your passion, and then clearly being able to express that to the world, to the forces that be, in a way that is authentic, that is not Seven of Swords, right? But a way that feels authentic and bold, but also honest, right? And moving away from thinking about failure, let's say, or a lack of, a certain kind of success or a certain kind of outcome, and knowing that everything that you do, when you do it from this place of creative truth or creative authenticity and alignment with your values, alignment with your integrity, that you're doing that every time you do that, you learn more and you get closer and closer to clarity, right? And to being able to speak with authority or communicate with authority on what it is that you're here to be bringing to the world in whatever context this is, right? So I'm going to leave that there. I feel like I don't want to go any further with it, but thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again soon. Many blessings.